So today, inshallah, we'll discuss some questions regarding the calendar and also, I believe, loose search results, right?
Yes.
Inshallah. So let's open the document and see what are the questions or concerns you had, right?
Right.
So let me just share
You want me to
the.
share it or who is going to share it?
Okay, I can share.
Okay, anyone.
All right. So the first comment is the end date makes sense for daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Specified. What does that mean? For example, 10 November to 31 December, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Does this mean the daily slots will be created only between 10 and November and 31 December? So I tried to answer that. Basically, um, um, I don't know. I don't have a perfect answer for this, right? But remember previously, what we had in mind was if you say daily, for example, then it's every day, right, of the week. If you say weekly, it's every week the same day, right? Generally, that's what it means when you're making an event on a calendar. Now, in terms of our schedule, when it comes to the courses, if it's something that's repeated, right? For example, um, the teacher schedule, for example, that's what we're talking about. So if the teacher
Right.
schedule is repeated, um, and then the end date, remember, in terms of until what time it ends or repeats, you said we to do just 3 full months and then whatever the change, right? And then every third 3.5 months or 4 months, the schedule would auto generate. But in terms of other events, for example, where only once, for example, a webinar, right? Then then basically we're going into one-to-many option here, and then there are two types. One is just once off scheduled. Another one is every week there are two classes, and then that it's only then there could be end time. But for one-on-one classes, there's kind of no end times. It's
Okay.
so you can just keep it invalid for one-on-one classes. Um,
Can we disable that field in the GUI? In the GUI, if
yeah, so
the
you
type.
can disable it if it's for a one-on-one class that we're creating the
Yeah.
schedule. But the question is, how do you, so when you are creating the schedule, maybe we should select the type of the course from the course list for which we are creating, and then the interface adapts accordingly. I don't know.
See this daily, weekly. This we are going to select, right? We are going to have a drop down to select the type of the event, right? Daily,
Yeah,
weekly, monthly, yearly, right?
yeah,
There also, based on that, also we can disable, right? We can because I feel that based on your explanation,
yeah.
the daily, monthly, weekly, all this may not have an end date, right? May not have an end date.
May not have end dates, but
Yeah, the
basically,
webinar is a kind of special one. That the webinar and other ones which
yeah.
will have end date, those probably you will come through a link or something. That for those we will have basically context of course or whatnot. At that time we can enable the end date.
Yeah, so like for example, when you're talking about, for example, meetings and training sessions and things like that, right? So those could be, so for example, a meeting could be on a monthly basis, for example, right?
Fine. Okay.
Right, and then your trainings could be bi-weekly, for example, and they could have end dates. So it's just for the, in terms of the event type, if it's a class, for example, we're not necessarily worried about end dates. It's only for a webinar or meetings or
Correct.
that we're worried about end time.
Correct. Yeah, you're correct. You're right. So
Does it
basically,
make
post, yes, makes sense. Post MVP, when we are going to implement it, at
Yeah,
that time we will keep that end date basically enabled. But
yeah,
right now for this one, let's I would recommend disabling the end date because it will confuse otherwise. Because there is always an uncertainty what will happen if the end date is equal to start date or the end date is tomorrow or after 1 week. What should we do? There is always
yeah.
an uncertainty that I
So
want to remove that uncertainty.
yeah, so in terms of us admin being able to do it, right? Don't worry too much. As long as we understand, we can work around those. Even if you were to keep it open, for
Okay,
example,
fine.
like
Okay.
I don't see the need for you to do two different developments if it makes sense. If
Okay,
you
okay, okay. I
leave
understand. I
it
understand.
open, we would
Yeah, we
understand
can do that. Okay.
one-to-one class. We don't assign end dates. If it's
Okay.
you
Okay.
know,
As long as you will allow me to ignore it and consider the same date, I have no issue.
yeah. So we
Otherwise,
want, like,
otherwise
for
you will
example,
define the business logic for it. Otherwise, you will define
yeah,
the
yeah.
business logic.
So for
The
testing,
rest
for
of it.
example, we won't do it for one-to-one classes because that wouldn't make sense. If it, you know what I'm saying, right?
Second, no, I didn't understand. Second,
So like when we're scheduling classes as admins, right?
yeah.
We can ignore from having any input onto the, whether it's a repeat or once or daily or something like that. When we're doing the one-to-one class, so you
Okay.
can, if it comes down to it, you can schedule, you can build the software or like as in the system in a way that you don't have to enable, disable now and later. Uh,
Okay, fine. Okay.
that makes it easier. I don't know if that makes it
Yeah,
easier.
that's fine. Yeah, I just like for us like small thing anyway. It's not a
Okay.
big deal, but we can leave it open. But my main point is we will be ignoring the end date. I mean,
Yeah,
it
for
cannot be
one
anything
class.
other than today. It cannot be anything other than the start date. It has
Yeah,
to be equivalent to the start date. That's what my mean. I put my question.
yeah. For one-to-one classes, that is the case.
Yes. It's for now. Otherwise, you need to give me a separate business logic. What does it mean? That's what my question was actually.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, understood. Alhamdulillah. So basically, for the sake of this meeting, until for the one-on-one classes, we will assume the start date and end date will be the same, and if it is otherwise, we will ignore whatever it and then assume it the same day. That's what.
So let me just take
Okay,
a
inshallah.
look.
Yeah.
Is resolution um, assume start and and
Yeah. Right.
what, and all into
Correct. For all one and all one. Yeah.
other events and dates will be considered. Okay.
Okay. Very good. Fantastic. Alhamdulillah. We resolved one issue. Alhamdulillah.
So next one is, what is the duration here? So this one is based on the previous requirement, select start date and end date for a specific session.
Yeah, you
Then
can ignore that. Yeah, you can ignore it now. Yeah, since we discussed now already. Yeah, this has
okay.
resolved that also. This has resolved.
What is the selected end date? Why should we create seven?
Yeah, this we have resolved it just now. Yeah, create seven
Okay.
subjects. Yeah,
Yeah.
now
So
we
we,
understood. Yeah. Now it's you can ignore this question now. That's
okay.
resolved. You can say because what we understood on the end
Yeah.
date, all that questions are resolved.
Okay.
So there is no
Next
confusion
one.
on that.
Okay. Next one is slots. So end of the slot should be editable So it says slots here. You mean block of the time 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. As you don't know about the slots, they are determined at the time it's 201, but maybe 1 hour. So you want the ability to edit the block of time at any point of time to modify them. So this is a good question, right? I don't have the perfect answer for this, but I thought maybe inshallah we can brainstorm. So in terms of being able to edit or delete, right?
Yeah.
What we had in mind is that, for example, if in terms of delete, right? So let's say we make a schedule for a teacher from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. we need to change. The teacher is not going to be available after 6 months anymore. So now all of a sudden we need to delete that slot or that 1 hour of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And so that's basically the idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes sense to me. Yeah,
So
sure.
even though it's one block of time, but we need to be able
Able
to
to change it. Yeah,
remove
you're
or
able.
move
Yeah.
a certain block of time from that
Right.
section.
Yeah, we cannot do it. I don't know. So basically, you guys can suggest some interface or something. The only way we can do is to currently is to basically you can modify the time block whatever you want. So basically, you can make changes to the start time and end time of it. You cannot remove something in the middle. If you want to remove something in the middle, you need to split it into two time blocks. You need to split it into two time blocks. For example, if you want to remove 2 p.m. completely 2 p.m. All you need to do is to change it to 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. something like that, so that the 2 p.m. is excluded. That's the only way I can come with right now, unless you guys can actually suggest some kind of interface or see how the Google is doing, how the Google Calendar is doing it, how the Google Calendar someone else is actually resolving this issue, so we can follow the same thing.
Sam, any suggestion?
Can we go to Google Calendar? Can we go to Google Calendar? Let's go to Google Calendar.
Yes, please. Go there.
So
We'll see how Google Calendar is doing it. Is there any solution it's giving? So actually go and create a time slot for like 10 to 5 something, 10 to 6, and see if you can remove it.
yeah. Okay, so 10 p.m. 10 p.m.
10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's okay. That's okay. Just a text, no problem. Just a text.
To do. Okay. There's a way to let it do it from the text.
Okay, mashallah.
9 a.m. to
Oh, nice.
5 p.m.
Very nice. Okay.
So now, if I want to edit, yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, if it's a block of time, then you have to do something to the entire block.
Yeah. So you can only adjust the starting and ending time of the block. You cannot go in the middle and do a slicing. You cannot slice in the middle.
So unless basically the system does, I don't know, 15-minute blocks or something.
Yeah, that
like
you know
that.
that I mean, we thought about it. It will be too big. The can see now what happened, right? See now actually even in the Google Calendar, what happened? So it has actually made that big kind of rectangle, right?
Yeah.
If we do 15 minutes, it will be like too big. And if you have this like 1 month calendar or whatever you're seeing on the screen, the user has to scroll too much. He has to scroll his like phone or mobile phone or even whatever desktop, whatever. He has to scroll up and down too much to see the data.
So in terms of,
I don't think it's a good interface like that. Sorry.
Yeah, so in terms of the user for this is generally the admin, right? Obviously, but
even for admin,
yeah, so the admin
it's a human being. If it is like in affordable range, admin we are okay. If it is, see if the difficulty is in a range which is affordable or it's okay. But it should go
I have
beyond
a
it.
question. I mean, could it be? I don't know.
Wait. I think so. This thing we created. This is not the availability. This is a meeting on your availability. The calendar at the back, the white piece, that's the availability. That we can select in 15-minute blocks, right? Like delete this event.
But they have to be connected, right?
No, I know what you mean. So the thing is, for Google Calendar, the white space is the availability, and this is the meeting on that availability. You know what I'm saying? This is the course that a student has selected on the availability, but the white space at the back, that is your availability. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The red block is the meeting, the one-on-one session. The white block at the back is the availability. You can select them in 15-minute blocks.
So basically everything is available unless you specify whatever the meeting or.
No, like you specify, a teacher specifies when he's available.
Yeah,
and
correct.
Those will become the white blocks. Like I guess, and then
yeah,
then we can. I know it's not exactly Google Calendar. It's not exactly, because the thing is that Google. So the thing is, there's a calendar first of all, which has all time, 24 hours a day, and then on top of that we have. So this thing has 2 layers. This has all time and your meeting. So we have 3 layers, which is all the time in the day, 24 hours of a day, and then the times available for a teacher.
Yeah.
And then the meeting, the one-on-one session time. So it's not exactly Google Calendar.
Okay. So Sam, if you can able to go to the place where you define the availability. Can you please go over there? If you can able to navigate to the place. Yes. In the Google Calendar. Please go to the place where you define the availability.
Google Calendar does not have that functionalities. It has, like I said, your availability is 24 hours a day. The white piece at the back, that is your availability.
That's 24/7. Okay. 24/7.
That is,
unless what you go and define, like you are available, not available. That okay. Okay, I understand.
No, unless you have a meeting. Unless you have the thing is that it's not exactly like it's a calendar piece, but it's not exactly what we like. I guess we decided at some point to do.
Right? If you're imagining that with Google Calendar, with our calendar also you can imagine the same thing, right? Also, our calendar is basically the same thing, right? It's all the time which you are available, unless you schedule something. Actually, if the student or the teacher schedules something that he is working for this period, means he's blocking his time to teach. That kind of thing, right? Teach, and in that teaching block, which the teacher, whatever Jim Jones is saying, like 10 to 5 p.m. I'm available to teach, means he's blocking that time in his calendar, right? From the entire calendar. And then again, the student is enrolling, saying that, okay, I want to enroll only in this like 10 a.m. slot or whatever, 2 p.m. slot, something. So it's kind of the same thing what we have done also, right? I mean, what I'm trying to say is the same challenge you also have, you have the same challenge also in the Google Calendar.
Right, but the thing is that Google Calendar is not a solution of our problems, right? Like you're not it's not.
Of course. No. What we are trying to come here is a kind of elegant solution for our problem. So we are just looking at the Google Calendar as a reference point or the tool, if it can help us. That's all we are looking for.
Yeah.
We know that we're not trying to find all our solutions in the Google Calendar. That's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah, fair enough. All I'm trying to say is that like the white piece behind it, it lets you like select individual blocks. Like I can select individual blocks, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like, I don't know, half an hour.
Yeah, fine. So
like
they're not.
Sorry, they're not what.
So okay, so what you're saying is okay. Let me try to rephrase what you might be saying. So imagine 9 to 5, right? Now 9 to 5 could be hypothetically white. Okay, for example. In our case, let's say it's gray. Okay, for example, what you're suggesting is in that gray we make visually 15-minute or half an hour blocks. That's what you're saying.
So the thing is that the way I would do it, I wouldn't set it like that. The way so let's say, like technically speaking, if someone told me that, okay,
so Google has them by half an hour, for example, right?
I think you can bring it down. Like I think edit an event, like go to edit.
Yeah, so like
click an event, edit it.
Yeah, generally
go inside like go inside the event.
Usually you can do half an hour. When you
whatever.
When you go to edit, you can do 15 minutes. Well,
apparently not actually.
No, you can type it. So 4:30 to 4:45. Yeah, you can type it. See, Brother Abdullah, by the way, this is another
Yes,
related point. Only this event, following events, all events.
oh, mashallah, very good. Yeah, fantastic.
So
Yeah.
this is what Google prompts you when you try to make a change for
Yeah.
any that's recurring,
It just applies only for this. Yes, I understand this.
because so here you go. So it's showing a 15-minute, but obviously even though it's 15 minutes, visually it's showing you half an hour.
That's their UI. That doesn't have to be our UI,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah, that's their UI. So what Abdullah is asking is, how do you think we should solve it from UI perspective? Because also we need the UI solution as well, right?
So by UI perspective, I think, like you said, it's a different shade. Like you have your regular, I guess, your white background, and then on top of that, you have a different color shade that shows the teacher's availability, which is also in like 15-minute blocks.
Yeah, so the 15-minute blocks in terms of user interface would be a lot.
No, but
See, for
how's
the
that a lot?
available, we can bring.
How's
So
that a
for
lot?
this,
But
white. Yeah. So sorry for that. Yeah.
yeah. No, go ahead, Akhi, go ahead.
Yeah. Basically, what I was saying is, it's actually for the calendar, for the main calendar, for the entire, like, what do you call it, background or the wallpaper of the calendar, we can bring them in 15 minutes slot. That's not an issue. That should be okay in my opinion. But what I was saying is that data which the admin is basically configuring, the admin is setting up for the teacher, that we need to, that if we keep it like in 15 minutes slot, if we generate automatically in 15 minutes, it will be like too much, I thought, for the admin to scroll up and down. That's what I thought. But if you guys are okay, we don't mind. When you see it visually in our calendar, you will see that what I'm saying.
Yeah, because this is
If there
going
is
to be
a,
twice
if
the
you go to the
length.
monthly view, if you go to the monthly view in our calendar, and if you go and define like in 5-day, 6-day week, and put these time slots, then it will be like too much scrolling up and down. Other than that, the background calendar itself, I don't mind it in 15 minutes, whatever that is, no problem.
Well, Abdullah is block X from a perspective. So here's what I was thinking, right? We have to, something has to sacrifice here, in the sense that when the teacher has a calendar, right? When, let's say, we enable the 15-minute slots,
Let's have it. Like if we all agree, if we all agree, then let's have
to
it.
see every 15 minutes who is the student. So I think it's probably best if we break it down to 15
minutes, huh? Okay, no problem, Ishra. No issue. Yeah, with that we are allowed to delete, right? We can allow to delete, change whatever you want to do, right? With that.
And then here's the thing. So
and
then, like, you see agenda,
Yeah.
basically on
Yeah,
so this is come with Google Calendar app. I don't know if you can implement it, but I saw Medtronic.
we can also implement. Yeah, we can also implement. Just a tab. We can give
Medtronic
yeah. Okay, tell me.
Yeah, so Medtronic has a UI update coming up.
Yeah, okay.
Agenda to UI as well. And then
Okay.
on the agenda, for example, if I have 10 events, for example, for a day, you see, I don't know. So that's why Google is like really amazing, because, you know, you can edit everything
Mashallah, okay, very good.
from one place, right? And like you can do breakdowns, and obviously, right? I don't know if the calendar API does that, but yeah. So like the agenda would have the daily, for example, agenda. So today is, let's say, 14th of November, and it would show all the sessions on 14th of November, and I could go into, you know, when we have the classroom integrated, I could go into clicking the class link and then go to the class directly. And that's the same thing as what we said in terms of student signs up. We show the name of the student and then Skype ID and a link to the classroom, right?
Yeah.
So it's a similar thing in terms of the agenda, basically showing the name of the student, for example, and a link. Obviously, the color is not something we need, and something like that. So Okay, I'll try to write this down, inshallah, as an
Yeah,
item for
agenda.
me.
We will try. I will see if the if the full calendar IO we are using, if it will support, if it supports, or we will see how we can bring it. Inshallah. Yeah, actually, I also like it. I also like that agenda thing because it gives a complete overview. It gives a complete overview, and it
Yeah.
allows you to edit. All that. Yeah, I like that. Actually.
And like when you click on the specific day, you can go to that
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
day's calendar.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Actually, it's very good. Alhamdulillah. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I will see if we can bring it inshallah in our.
Okay. Right, inshallah. So
I took
I
a
guess
note.
let's just do the 15 minutes block because
Okay,
it seems to
alhamdulillah.
solve our problem.
Okay, sure,
There is
inshallah, no problem.
why for the teachers and the students, sorry, teachers and the admin, because they need to at the end of the day. So here's the thing. So if it's an 1 hour slot taken, then the calendar would show that it's 1 hour, right? To merge the 4 15-minute slots.
Oh, wait. No, no, wait. Yeah, actually, I need to think about it. So basically, basically, when you create an event, you're going to create by a block of time, correct? Let's say at
Yeah,
10 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? You're going to create a block. And
yeah,
what we
because
are
otherwise
discussing is
making every 15-minute slot is too much work, right? You know
it's
what I'm
not
saying?
too much work from code point of view, but it's like too much scrolling and too much usage of resources
Uh,
to me. Yeah, like too much like most probably it might take more memory than what it would be, I think. So
yeah,
okay, whatever that is. So actually, what we are discussing now is when we allow you to create a block of time, let's say 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
yeah.
When the admin submits it, means when he clicks the save button, whatever that is, okay, save, whatever. At that time, we are going to create all 15-minute slots, right? That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Right, all the 15-minute slots. Right,
And then, for example, for
currently,
one-on-one class, student comes and then obviously he's selecting. Let's say he's coming through the 1 hour slot, 1 hour class link, right?
yeah.
And he's seeing the hourly slots. He's not seeing 15-minute slots, obviously, right?
When he books an hourly slot, we will mark those four of them with his name. This like 4 15-minute slot. We will put his name that he is occupying
Do you
all
think
those
it would
four
be
slots.
possible to merge
Yeah,
those slots?
we'll see that. Yeah, actually, if it's possible, we'll merge it. Inshallah. Yeah, I will see. I will see if that allows us. That's the full calendar. I think it is not allowing because if you define, you can try in Google Calendar also. It may or may not allow. You can also try in Google Calendar if it allows you. Basically, if you configure it to whatever that is, like the 1 hour block or 30 minutes slot, or 30 minutes or 1 hour or 15-minute slot, it will remind all the cells will be of the same size. I think all the rows. You can see if it allows and if it allows in Google Calendar.
So the issue is Google Calendar doesn't allow us to merge events, right? For example, that's the thing, right? So here we're kind of talking about merging events. If you have each slot is
Yeah. Correct.
15 minutes,
Yes, you're talking
and
about
then
emerging
you
event.
want to
That's right.
merge, right?
Yeah.
So for example,
Yeah.
so Google Calendar won't let me select both of them and
Yeah.
merge them.
Yeah.
Like I can't merge.
I agree. I
I can
understand.
do I can do like overlap, and then it will show me
Oh, okay.
two events,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I can move them. I can move to another day, right?
Yeah.
I can move. I can move to before. I
Very
can
good.
move after. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Uh,
understand. Yeah.
I can edit the properties as I like, but it don't allow me to merge.
Okay. In our case, get back to you on this question. I will see if that is possible with full calendar, and then I'll get back to you on this question. That if we can able to show both on the same grid, like 1 hour time slots and 15 minutes and 30 minutes, whatnot. If that is possible, then I will get back to you.
Let me just take a note of that. So give me 1 second. Let me just stop the screen share and then I'll restart.
No problem.
And, screen share, image. All right, now next one. Okay, so the end date we discussed. Okay, so what is the session here? Okay, so this is so this point, the system should give the option to delete one session for one of many future sessions or X number of sessions. So this is basically what I showed you. For example, this event that I created, right?
Okay.
So this is a test event, right? Now, if I make it, how do I make it recurring? Is it in the past? Sorry, let me just do this one. So here, if I go repeat, let's say I do weekly, okay,
Yeah.
every Wednesday, and then starts on this day and then ends. You see different options here.
Yeah.
Never ends after how many occurrences or on a specific date, for example, and then this
Very
should.
good, very good. Yeah, that's nice.
So let's say, and then if I go here, let's say I do next year, hypothetically. I'm not saying that's what we do, but anyway, for us, it doesn't matter. So this is more of a function. Sorry. So save. Now this is a repeated event now. So if I go to my agenda, I'll see test event 2. You see repeating every Wednesday.
Right.
Right. Test
Exactly,
event.
right.
Now let's go back to my weekly calendar. So if I want to delete this, okay, I click here and then just say delete. And then Google asks me if I want to delete only
Very nice. Okay.
all of the following, or all events in the series, in the past, future, everything. Does that make sense?
Right.
So if I do,
Yeah, of course. Of course, makes sense. Yeah.
and then I go next week, the event is still there.
Yeah, makes sense. Yes.
The week after is there. However, if I obviously do, for example, delete, right, all the following,
Then everything will be gone. Huh?
then everything is gone,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We can implement this, no problem, sure. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that's basically. So I don't know how. See, that's I don't know what Google comes up with in terms of accessibility and being able to create events. That's how we kind of put that there. But here's something that Hussam had, which is really interesting, which is if we want to select, so let's say we had another event here, test event 3, test event 4. So what Hussam is saying is that I should be able to select control and then select multiple events.
Yeah, okay.
Right? To delete
Fine.
or move. So if I select more than one, then it will move all of them. You know what I'm saying? But obviously Google doesn't have a UI for this. If you can do it, if it's not too much work, it'll be good. If it's too much work,
we'll try it, inshallah. We will try. Looks like to be possible. Looks like possible to me. If we don't face any challenges, inshallah, we will implement it.
Right. So this one is based on our conversation that we agreed before. For example, if the session is created on October 15, then it would end on January 31. So basically it ends the month and then 3 full months after that, and then it regenerates the same schedule, right?
Yeah.
And you said that is better from a database perspective and not using too much data or something like that. And then the other type of events you said, please confirm all these events below are going to be later. Yes, they are. And one thing that Hussam wanted to make sure that you understand is, I think last meeting we discussed is also the vacation or holidays. So what it is, it's something that overrides the event, right?
Right.
The event. right? So for example, if I say vacation, okay,
Yeah.
vacation from 3 p.m. I don't know, just hypothetically 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. So what it does is, what happened? I did that. 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Let's say. Right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that so the vacation would override
Yeah,
the
correct.
system in a
Agreed.
manner that these slots don't become bookable anymore. They become inactive
Yeah.
until the vacation time ends. So for example,
Yes, I understand.
vacation
I understand.
repeats, let's say daily for, let's say, I don't know, 10 days. Okay. And
Okay.
then it finishes after 10 days. So what happens is what's happening?
Hello, I'm not able to hear you.
Then why did they create the vacation?
Yeah, actually, if you can see the month view, yeah, also, yeah, in agenda, you should see it. In agenda, yeah, you see the vacation there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, this is a mistake. Repeats every weekday.
Every month they wanted to repeat or what?
No, so if I'm doing vacation, generally it repeats. Okay, this is the issue. So I would say vacation is every weekday, for example. Okay, after after I don't know, let's say 10 business days, right? Hypothetically. So let's see what happens.
Guys, can you guys continue? I'll just be muted. I just have to take care of my son. He's crying a bit. I just have to clean his nose. So you guys continue. I'll just listen, but I won't be able to speak.
Sure, no problem, Sean.
Okay, brother. No problem.
Sorry, I created it this time. Okay, so here you go. You see, so vacations are created, but the idea is if I create the vacations, then it makes the events that are there. So let's say this test event, it becomes inactive
Yeah. Okay. I understand. Inshallah. Okay.
because vacation or holiday override. So for example, each
But the
time.
vacation, we are going to work on it post MVP, right? Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
So that's about it, I think, right? Is there anything else you
No,
had?
no, that's it. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, Alhamdulillah. I think you covered everything on this one.
So the next item, I think, is the loose search.
Yeah, loose touch and also a couple of questions I put on the 173, LZT 173. I will be glad if you can see if it is
I
something
think
we
I
can take it.
responded to
Oh, really?
one.
Oh, you already responded. Okay, then I will take a look at it. No issue then.
Let's
You already
just
responded,
quickly
that's no
review.
issue. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you don't need to take time if it's already responded.
Yeah, so I
Yeah, we
said
can talk only on this touch. Yeah, please tell me.
so about when charging the student. So you ask the question if it's multiple time slots, this is an existing student. Do we wait for the existing student to finish their first class until we charge them? No. For existing students, the billing happens immediately.
Immediately, right? Okay.
Right? It's only for new students that
That logic you talked about. Yes, I understand.
so it's not even so the 24-hour rule is not even really 24 hours, but what it is until the second class, right? Remember we discussed. So
Yeah. For the
Yeah.
new student, if they're taking only one class, then we will wait for 7 days.
Yeah.
Then if they're taking more than one class, then we will wait until the end of the first class, or before the beginning of the second class. Then we will charge them at that point. That's what we agreed.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Alhamdulillah.
Basically, at the so let's
Then
say
what
if
I'm doing now, what I'm doing it, since you are not giving an exact time, so what I'm doing is I'm actually finding a middle point between the first class and second class, and actually I'm charging at that point, at that time. At that time is when the logic will kick.
Okay, so here's my question, right? I don't know if you remember last time we discussed. So let's say if I my classes as is. So let's say my classes are Monday 5 p.m.,
Yeah.
Wednesday 7 p.m.,
Yeah.
Thursday 6 p.m.
Right.
Okay. Now I have 3 classes, and I sign up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When will you charge me?
When it will charge you, right? So if you're a new student, you said like Wednesday, right? You said Wednesday,
Monday,
Thursday?
Wednesday, and Thursday.
Again, sorry, say again. Yeah, I was not able to hear you properly. Say again.
So Monday,
Uh-huh.
yeah, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? And if you're a new student, then I will charge you in between Monday and Wednesday, which actually we have a logic now. We are calculating a middle point between these two. So basically, I will charge you on Tuesday.
So is it possible to charge me at my next class or no?
Yeah, I can. Of course, I can.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, that's
Yeah,
what
we can do it.
that's what we wanted. Yeah, and
So basically, instead of doing the middle point, I will do it on Wednesday before your class, right? Before your second class, right?
or at the time of the class, for
Yeah, at
example.
the time of the class. Yeah, fine, of course. Yeah,
So I do-
much easier for us. Much easier. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
so
since we already
as
know
soon
that.
as it is the time for the second class, system charges the student.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
and,
possible.
and instead of a middle point or something.
Yeah, sure, of course, that's possible. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, and so loose search. Now, in terms of the loose search, so this is here, loose search. So let me just go there. Okay. Yeah. So loose search, what we said was we wanted so we're getting rid of the tafsir part, right? And then I mentioned
Yeah, correct. Yes, of course. Yeah, you already mentioned it, and it's
hold on.
yeah, you're right. It has been removed already. Advanced tafsir, not the basic one.
Advanced
Only the
tafsir.
tafsir we are removing. Yes,
Yeah, basic tafsir is there.
basic will remain. Yeah.
Which one did I?
Are you put that comment on what? Sorry, 73. Yes, you're right. You're there. You're there. But it should be on the top. I think it should be a little bit on the above. A little bit more above. Probably. Okay, you already.
No, I don't know. Where did I put it? I put it somewhere.
Yeah. You put it. I told you already. You put it in 173. You
170.
put it. Yes. 173. You put it a little bit above.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So
Yeah.
Okay. So if the student is novice or child and we can find teachers who can teach those students, we don't show any teacher available. So that's the only thing. However, we try to enter this student to a wait list. So this is going to be after MVP, we do the wait listing.
Right.
Now, the only time when we'll have no teacher available are the following scenarios. Student is a child and there is no teacher available for 6 to 12 age group. Student is a novice, unable to read, and there is no teacher available for novice students, meaning they're very beginner. And when all teachers are booked and there is no teacher with availability. So those are the only 3 scenarios when we don't have teacher. But at every other scenario, we have teachers. Now, only thing that I was thinking about is they're ranking the teachers, right, on their profiles. So you know how we have
okay, is this wait a minute. Wait a minute. Like what you just now explained, These three scenarios, when that is the only three scenarios you're saying there is no data. All other scenarios you're saying there will be data. That means, are we removing the exact search as well? I mean, exact search is we were before we were matching the gender, we were matching the age group. All that will be there, right? All that will not be removed, right?
So gender, age group, those things will be there. However,
Will be there.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it simpler, right?
Yeah.
Instead of more complicated, because what happens is, we have students for different age groups, right? For example,
Right.
the teachers, there are only two types of teachers: ones that teach children, and ones that don't teach.
And don't teach it. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second one is, for example, and the second type of teachers that we don't want to mismatch is people who say they're good for beginners, right? For example, someone who doesn't know how to read, or very basic, right? And then give them, a teacher who can teach basic teachers, right? So here, and however, other things you can keep the exact matches. I'll give you an example. Someone says they're a good reader,
Right.
okay? For example, now good reader is the same as intermediate.
Correct.
Right? Now, obviously, if they're a good reader and we have a teacher, for example, say who's there for beginner, but not intermediate, okay?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, it wouldn't make sense because a beginner teacher can teach also intermediates to teach, you know what I'm saying? However, if a beginner teacher is there and then intermediate is not listed, we still should show. That's basically what we're saying, right? We just make
That's
it
a loose search now, right? Right now, that is called loose search. That's not
exactly
an exact search. Exact search means it should match exactly.
Yeah, but what we're suggesting is we'll make it easy, and then
Okay. Please tell me.
unless someone says, for example, I want, so if they say they can read with Tajweed, that means they are at what is called quote unquote advanced, and all our teachers can teach students who can read with Tajweed. However, if we have a teacher, for example, who is not there for novices or beginners or intermediate, and he's only available for advanced students, okay, then obviously that teacher gets preference in terms of ranking. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
But the teachers who have all four options would come secondary as ranking.
Oh, okay.
Let me take a note of this. I think.
Actually, see, what I am trying to understand from you is three things.
Sure.
When we should not show any data. What are the conditions where we should never show any data if it is not found? And what are the exact search criteria? What is the loose search criteria? That's what we're trying to understand. When we should do exact search, when we should do loose search, and we should not show any data. These are the only three things I'm trying to understand from you, and I'm not fully understood it. I only got a partial understanding.
Do not show any data when to show
The exact search and show data. Yeah, exact search data and loose search. So for all these three, you might have various conditions. For example, you might say infants. Like infants, you might say infants are like, what are they, like in the age group of 6 to 12, right? Infants. You might say, infants, there has to be a teacher who can teach infant. Otherwise, don't show any data. So that will fit that category number 1. Like that, I'm talking about like that.
Okay, I see.
So if we can able to categorize based on the three.
So I'll give some. I'll create a little bit more elaborate scenarios for you, inshallah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then update it, inshallah. But essentially, I did the when not to show, right?
Yeah. When not to show, you already done it. But while we're discussing, we found out that that's not the only things. One of the things. Just that's what I was saying. When we're discussing just now, we discussed it, right? These three are not the only.
That one is exact or loose.
Sorry.
That one is for just exact or loose search, right?
Yeah. No, but you said, see, now you put it down. I went to not to show any data, right? So you listed only 3. Now, if I ask you a question, what if gender is not matching? Yeah, male.
Okay. I see what you.
And a female adult teacher, will you show any data? No, right? You will not show any data, right? So basically, the gender is something
Okay, I see. Okay, so you're asking. Sorry, I
gender mismatch.
assume the gender.
Yeah, basically that can come also in exact match also. That can also come in exact match, but actually that's also a case where we will not show any data, right? If the gender mismatch,
exactly. We will.
yeah, those kind of things. I'm just trying to
Okay.
understand those, because like when we put the logic, we have to put like full proof. Otherwise,
Yeah,
we cannot
yeah.
have a leakage in the logic when we put the code. When we write the code in Java.
So exact data is okay. So when you say exact data,
Yeah, exact search. Yeah, exact criteria. Yes, whatever. Exact match. Exact match is like you said. You said just now. You give an example, right? For the best for best for what the teacher is best for and what is the learning objectives of the student. Is this needs to be matched or not? Is it needs to be matched exactly or not? If it is needs to be matched exactly, then it should be listed over here.
okay. So now student can read with Tajweed. Considered advanced. We have teacher who teaches only advanced students. So that's an exact match, right? For example.
Yeah. Instead of
Now-
instead of putting essentially so much verbose or so much in detail, you can even say in summary. Okay, exact match. We already have a table, right? Actually, you already put a table already.
Yeah,
It's already there.
I'm just writing.
So
I'm just writing.
Yeah, fine. Okay, sure. Alhamdulillah, no problem. Then no problem. You're just putting it for your.
Like, so let me.
Yeah,
let
won't
me
understand. No problem. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So personally, I adopted the idea of examples some time ago.
Yeah,
when
fine. Alhamdulillah. Very good.
When I was
That's good.
studying, I remember fiqh, one of the shuyukh, he said something about Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, which was really interesting. He said Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen would give the easiest examples and would always clarify things with examples, because with examples, things become clear.
But he also wrote books on usul. And Uthaymeen, alhamdulillah, I read many books of him.
Yeah,
He also write books on usul, principles.
Yeah.
There are, like you have various kind of audience. Some audience need examples. Some audience may need principles, where they can do a lot of things, but just understanding the principles.
That's a good.
So we have, yeah. I think we may need both. In our case, we may need both. I think in our case.
Yeah, sorry. That's so basically, and that made an improvement on me when
your examples are good
and
for us. Don't take me wrong. It makes us understand. But for the coding purpose, we also want to know, what is the higher level? What are you trying to say at the higher level? Are you trying to say we need to match exactly the teacher best for versus the student learning objective or not? Are you trying to match them exactly, or are you ignoring at a few conditions? Are you trying? No, are you ignoring them in few conditions? That's what we want to know. For example, like you said already, right? Something is a novice. You said novice. Then for the teacher, something in teacher, right? Something like that. I'm talking about. Can read with Tajweed, advanced Tajweed. Okay. Student can.
Okay. So exact match is basically essentially considered a specialist if you think about it.
Okay, yeah. Correct.
Okay. And then loose is considered a generalist, right?
That's correct. You're right.
So
Correct. You're right.
you match a specialist with a specialist. So it's basically special requirements match.
Okay. If we don't find, then we come to the we can come to the generalist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Now that makes sense now. So are we going on the exact search? Are we going to do everything on the learning goals as well, or only on the what is that learning objective? What is it called? the student,
Oh,
and the student what we have.
So the only thing is we will do both, right? However, in ranking is where it comes, the specialist comes above generalist.
See, ranking is for loose search, right?
Rank. Well, the idea is everything
Ranking.
is kind of a loose search.
Oh, okay. So there is no exact search or loose search. So we're going to do based only on the ranking. Is what you're saying?
Okay, so what I mean is
Like 100% ranking is the exact search basically, right?
Exactly.
Like everything below is a loose search, right?
Exactly.
Fine, alhamdulillah, very good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course, please. No, of course, please.
100%
No issue.
match is
It's exact search. Every programmer sometimes give you a lot of tough time and asking you various questions which may be very,
I need to understand.
very simple for you.
I need to understand
it's
how
simple understanding my son can understand, and he's Abdullah is asking. You might have that.
search. Okay. Any student,
Yeah, this statement makes it very clear. This 100% match you put, that is makes very clear, mashallah. Okay, after this we can go in detail on the ranking, inshallah. A little bit we can understand the ranking after you put this. But this, when you put this 100%, then you open the door for ranking now.
Yeah, okay.
So ranking, it's all, I mean, whatever examples you give, it's all, we need to understand what do you have in mind for ranking.
Okay, so ranking,
Yeah.
Ranking first is 100% match, right?
Yes, that where we will match the learning goals, and this, what is that a learning objective, what is that will match that, right? Tajweed, basic, tafsir, all that. Yes.
So learning goals and reading ability.
Yeah, reading ability. Yes, reading ability.
Okay, so 100% match with learning
very
goals.
Good, with lowest utilization. Very good, fantastic.
With lowest utilization, right?
Yes, very good, fantastic. Yeah. You can just put lowest utilization of teacher, right? Just put that
Next
one word.
best. So. Okay. So here's an interesting scenario I had in mind that I wanted to ask you. Now that we're discussing utilization, you're doing a flex schedule. You have the utilization rate is going to vary of the teacher based on the kind of course he's teaching, right?
Right.
So,
right. Of course, yes.
Like, how do and this is something I wanted to ask your suggestion on. I don't know the answer. Is as, for example, if your teacher is available 9 to 5, okay, Monday to Thursday, and so that's 40 hours a week, right?
Right.
Now, out of 40 hours, he has 20 hours of students that are one hour classes, right? 20 students, 20 hours. Right. Now he has 20 more hours left, out of which, let's say 15 students, okay, or let's say 10 students, okay, who are taking 30-minute classes, okay?
Okay.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
So that's another, basically, so now he's, before he was 50%, so he's 50% full with 1 hour students, and then he has 20 hours left out of 20 hours, so 20 times 6 is 1200, so then he has, so that's basically 40 slots. Out of 40 slots, 40 half-an-hour slots, he has 30, sorry, only 10 that are taken.
Okay.
And then let's say, I'm just giving a complicated scenario, and then he has another 10 students that have 15 minutes classes.
15 minutes class, no problem. Okay.
So the question is, how do you rank utilization? How do you?
In my opinion, you need to add up everything to come to an see. Actually, So basically, it all comes in minutes, right? It all comes in minutes and hours. You
So
can
maybe
easily-
we do the lowest denomination of 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, we can also do that. See, actually, you can. So you can possibly do it in two ways. One by minutes or by number of slots. You understand? Which one you'll prefer actually? Because the number of slots will be more in this case. And the number of minutes maybe this. So for example, when you compare the same student, sorry, so the same teacher which you just now described, with another teacher who is teaching the equal number of hours but less slots. You understand? It's always a 1 hour slots. So instead of 1 hour, 30 minutes and 15 minutes, he's teaching all 1 hour slots. So his number of slots will be less compared to the teacher A, which you just described. So basically, it's up to you. You want to go by the number of slots or the total duration which he is teaching for that week. So you need to give us something.
I think maybe we go by the lowest denomination of the 15-minute as the lowest denomination.
Okay. Then count the number of slots. Then count number of slots he was teaching. Okay.
And I'm just thinking that might be easier. I don't know. What's your opinion?
I don't know. I mean, I want to take your opinion because you are in the field. You're practically on the field. See, I would take the number of minutes. I would prefer that. Number of minutes means totally 40 hours per week, right?
Yeah.
So irrespective of the number of slots it taught, irrespective of number of students it taught, he was busy only for 30 hours, and he was not teaching for 10 hours.
Yeah.
I will not worry about the number of students or number of slots he taught. I will go only by the number of minutes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll add up all the minutes. I will add up all the slots. Then at the end, I will get some hours, right? Hours and minutes I'll get, right? So I'll go with that. I will compare that with the 40 hours per week.
And then divide.
Yeah, the same formula which you described earlier. The same formula.
Occupied minutes by the total number of minutes.
Yeah, for that week.
Right.
Yeah.
And get a percentage, right?
Yes, exactly. Get a percentage. Yes.
Okay.
So I will use that. That is more easier from the programming point of view.
Okay.
What you're saying is also doable if that is what your
this is fine.
business demands. Your business demands that, yeah, we can do that.
This is fine with us.
Okay, alhamdulillah, no problem.
Yeah, because we are it's an internal.
Okay.
Right?
To the agreement.
and we are the consumers of this data anyway. Like we as.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have.
Because you're the business owner or whatever, right? Business analyst, business owner, whatever. So you should be comfortable with this, right?
Yeah. So we're fine with this. Now here is a question that we had, which is, for example, for the teachers, you know how we have different best for the language, this and that, and those criteria. Let me go to 166. The question is, if we wanted to rank them, right? Rank the teachers on their skills, if it makes sense. Right. Why is this opening? I think I need a new computer.
Oh, really? Okay. We all need one, brother. I also need one.
What kind of computer are you looking for?
I thought of moving to Mac, actually. I was actually talking to Faisal. He was really saying, are you sure? Are you serious? Can you cope up with the difficulties of Mac? He was asking me. He has started using Mac, and at last, after 1 year, he said, "No, I learned it."
Yeah.
After spending 1 year, he said, "No, I learned it." Before, it was very complex for me.
But I think for developers, depends on the type of development you do. Mac is not necessarily the best.
Oh, really? Okay. See, in Java, actually, Mac was good for. In Java, I heard that it has all the tools for Java.
Okay.
Mac has all the development tools for Java. For you're right for the .NET and PHP and other maybe you're right.
Yeah, because my brother is trying to do .NET stuff.
Yeah, .NET it will not. Mac is not a good
He
choice, I
bought
would say.
like a gamer's laptop with also like for some because you need heavy graphics card and all that issues. So
Yeah,
Windows laptop was cheaper because Mac similar would cost like $3,000, where he got the
right.
Windows for like $1,500, and then he sold it, and then now he just built a desktop. He's like, the best thing is just a desktop. Like you can
Yeah.
move items as you want, and anyway.
No, for the performance, the desktop is the
So
best for the
yeah.
performance.
So here's the thing. So for example, teacher's specialty area, for example,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we have Tajweed, basic tafsir memorization, advanced Tajweed, for example, right? Hypothetically. Now, the question is, I don't know if we should complicate it to that level, but maybe not. Maybe we just leave it. Some teachers are better at teaching Tajweed and memorization than others. Some teachers are better at basic tafsir, right? And you can rank them, and we have those rankings, just so you know. But we could rank them, and then the question is, if we were to rank teachers out of 10, for example, on each of these, right?
Yeah. Hello, I'm not able to hear you. I'm not able to hear you.
How would we be able to, match the student with the right ranking teacher? Just to give an example, if a teacher has basic tafsir 10 out of 10, okay,
Okay.
and the student comes and he wants to study basic meaning of the Quran, right?
Right.
Now, even though this teacher has basic tafsir, he also can teach memorization. He can also teach advanced tajweed.
Right.
But in basic tafsir, he is 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And this student, he's primarily interested in doing basic meaning and improved reading, for example.
Right.
Now, technically speaking, the system should give preference to this teacher for the student instead of another teacher who matches the same things, but in tafsir he is lower.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Actually, I may have a recommendation. Actually, what if at the admin screen, next to these fields where the specialty area, tajweed, basic tafsir, you see next to the field, just add 1 to 10. Just add a small field where he can select or enter 1 to 10. 1 to 10, or 10 being the highest. 10 being the highest. That kind of thing. We can just add that here. So in the tajweed, he can say that the teacher can say, okay, yeah, I can teach tajweed from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. I will rank myself 10 in tajweed. And in the tafsir, yes, I can also teach tafsir, but 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, I would say I'm only 5.
Yeah.
So we can put that ranking for the teacher at this level with another field, like you just put like another column. We can get the input, and we can use this in our ranking algorithm. Whatever. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah. So I'm wondering, do you think that would be difficult to implement, or
No. Nothing is difficult. Why is difficult?
Okay. All right.
That's
So
not difficult, inshallah.
so that's
So if
our team
it's
wanted
going to be useful for you, if it's going to be useful for your business, if we can come with a better algorithm with that, yeah, we would love to do it.
We're doing a better match for the student, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If it's going to give any benefit, then we'll love to do it. We'll love to do it.
Okay. And this is an iteration idea that we had. So another idea was, how we give the students multiple ability to select multiple learning objectives.
Yeah.
But if we ask them to rank their prior objectives in terms of their priorities, right?
Okay.
And anyway, so this is something we're thinking about. We haven't decided on this yet, but be a proper match, because we could say if the student selects priority being improved reading, then we match the teacher based on that priority first.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
right? And then if the student selects priority being memorize Quran, and then we select the teacher based on that priority, right?
Correct. Correct.
So that's another idea that's there, but I think for now
We don't want to complicate the student level. At the student level,
No,
keep
exactly.
it,
We don't want
the
to
interface simple, right?
Yeah.
So you need to think about how you can make the interface simple for the student.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to do that for the student. I think for the teacher, if we can do it, then I think that would be okay. So let me just take a note of that.
Yeah.
So
So what if the student selects all of them, all the learning goals? He wants to learn everything. So what you will do at that time, at that point?
sorry. So if the student selects all of them, right?
Yeah.
Then basically in our real life scenario, real life situation, our teachers can teach pretty much everyone except for advanced tajweed, right? Sorry,
Yeah.
advanced tafsir, or some teachers who are not good for beginners, right? So those are
Right.
the only issues that we have, right? We don't see if a student selects everything. Generally, we can have because they would select everything in terms of their learning goals, but they
Yeah.
can select that they can read it tajweed and
Correct.
be able to
Correct.
read at the same time, because that's only
Correct.
one option they can select here.
Correct.
But here, if they select everything, it's fine, because all our teachers are going to have most options enabled
Right.
in. So you just match accordingly. Obviously, it becomes an exact match at that point, and then if it's
Okay.
an exact match, then we do based on utilization ranking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question, because if we add the ranking to the teacher and the student selects all of the above and the teacher has all of the above, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Then it's just based on utilization ranking, right?
Yes. Correct.
Okay, so let me just let me take a note of this, because this is an interesting situation and question. Question: if student selects all of the above learning goals and teacher all ability. Sorry.
Based on the utilization rate, but are you going to include the teachers who can teach all of this, or are you going to teach? Are you going to include the teachers who can teach any one of this? What would you consider an exact match? What would you consider the exact match? Because he's saying all of the above means he's saying all of these are my goals, but I can learn whatever is available. You understand? All of these are my goals. I can learn anything. I can learn tajweed. I can learn tafsir. So if you put an exact match, only the teachers can teach everything, then you may not give him anything. Then you may not give actually what the student wants, right? So in my opinion, when the student clicks all of the above, then you can give any teacher actually. Yeah, you can give any teacher what they're teaching, anything, whatever they're teaching. Could be basic tajweed or basic tafsir, anything.
As long as the student is not a novice or the
right. Maybe you're right. As long as the teacher is yes, you're right.
So,
Yeah, that I would say yes.
As long as the student is not novice and teacher unable to teach novice, or student is a child and teacher.
Yeah, that's correct. I would agree with you. And the novice and child, we had to do something. We had to We'll do something special. You're right. I agree.
Okay, that's fine. Alhamdulillah, that's fine.
One to 10. Yeah.
All right. I think we're good.
Very good. Alhamdulillah.
So I'm just going to send you these notes.
Yeah. Sure.
Notes from
Yeah. After my questions and review, then after that, after everyone understands it, then once you can add it to the Jira.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sam, are you there? Did you have anything to add?
Sorry, guys, I've been in and out, but I don't think I got most of it. My son's a bit sick today.
Sorry, bro.
So,
To hear about that. Sorry, inshallah. Okay, I'll just send the email. Inshallah, you can have a read, and if you want to discuss, you can just give me a call tomorrow on your way back from work, and then we can talk, inshallah.
okay, inshallah. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. I'll just, for now, I'll just send it to you and Hussam, and then once it's finalized, then I'll add it to Jira.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, akhi. Anything else?
No, that's all. I think you have addressed it, and yeah, I think you said you already put comments for my questions on the 173. Okay, Alhamdulillah. I think we are done. If there's nothing
Okay.
else.
Okay, Jazakallah khair.
Wait, Jazakallah khair.
Right.